Why, if I criticize Hinduism, am I not accused of Hinduphobia? Why, if I criticize liberalism, I'm not accused of librophobia? But if I criticize Islam, I am accused of Islamophobia.
You are liar about Islam. A British court in
I explained it to him, and
yes
then
or
he
no?
said that there were anti-Muslim pogroms in Europe.
Yes, I have.
And then I asked him for evidence,
I give you
and
evidence.
he gave none.
Yeah, exactly.
yes.
Nothing.
So, nothing.
China-
So, an anti-Christian pogrom, for those of you that don't understand the term like this brother, is something that happens quite a lot in places like Egypt and Pakistan, where Muslim mobs go into Christian areas, burn down Christian churches, attack Christian families in their homes, and what needs to happen is that the church needs to recognize the strategical importance of Speaker's Corner and organize its evangelists and its missionaries to be here in teams.
Why did you scare Ali Dawah?
Ali Dawah, I think, was scared because there's too many people around to debate something that is so publicly embarrassing as the slavery that Muhammad practiced and permitted.
And why does it go debate only people that it seems to be debating are the only people that don't know much about Islam?
Well, the Islamic Dawah team here at the corner deliberately target people who are cultural Christians, who in an emotional spat will say, I'm a Christian, and then try to defend it. And these are people that have probably never darkened the door of the church or have never picked up their Bible recently or studied it. And the reason why they do that is because they're very easy prey. They're very easy prey to the Islamic Dawah team to target cultural
They seem to be desperate. Oh, the whole Ali Dawah team, seem to be desperate to debate Christians. But for example, when it comes to debating like Christian Prince, I've seen that none of them seems to try and debate him.
Well, I think
because he speaks Arabic, he understands.
I would actually correct you and say that the Islamic Dawah team is effective. The Islamic Dawah team are targeting weak Christians and cultural Christians. Tourists who are coming to the corner and don't know anything about their faith and have been more influenced by liberal society than they have by the teachings of the church. And when they are challenged, by Christians who know something of their religion and know something of their own, they run away from those debates. But when they want to meet a cultural Christian, they find it very easy to overpower them intellectually. And so actually they're very effective. And what needs to happen is that the church needs to recognize the strategical importance of Speaker's Corner and organize its evangelists and its missionaries to be here in teams with cameras, trained in apologetics, trained in polemics, and having a muscular faith, a clear sense of their own identity, to witness to these crowds that you see around us, many of whom will say, I'm a Christian. But then when asked a difficult question, will not be able to give any kind of answer. So I would challenge you actually and say, it's not desperation on their part, it's intelligence. They're really quite clever.
No, they're clever in what they do, but they don't really, they pick and choose and who they debate. This is my point.
Absolutely.
You see Ali Dawah just run away from debating you, and he saw an English guy, and he thought, yeah, maybe this guy doesn't know much about Islam, I haven't seen him here before, so he just picked him in the corner where he think he can brainwash him.
That is exactly what they do. I don't think it is exactly what they do. And too many people come here because their opinions and views are formed by liberal society. That's all right, I'll deal with that. They're formed by liberal society, and they come here conditioned because we have what is called Islamophilia in this country. The state
And we have Islamophobia as
suppresses any critique of Islam.
we have
People
Islamophobia
lose
as well
their
or not?
jobs for critiquing
Do we have
Islam.
Islamophobia, yes or no?
Not because they've critiqued Muslims,
cannot answer a
but
question.
because they have critiqued Islam. Now that kind of enforced Islamophilia is subjecting the mind of the people, forming the mind of the people, to have no ability to form a reasoned response or critique of Islam, which is what groups like DCCI and Fanda Films, Dunder J. Smith, and myself with So-Called Films are doing, as well as advocating the Christian alternative. Now, is there one final question from you, and then I'm going to take on the guy?
You can speak to this guy.
What time are we on, Jason? What time?
Yes, sir.
What time?
Let's ask the scholar.
Okay, so I
I
got about
ask you
40
the
minutes,
question.
and then I have to
I
go.
ask you the question. Is there Islamophobia in Europe and England? Yes or no?
By this question,
What is Islamophobia?
no, let me answer the question. So the question is there Islamophobia? Yes, there is Islamophobia, like there is Christophobia, Commophobia, Hinduphobia, Buddhaphobia, Freedophobia. Now, the thing is, there are prejudices of every kind in our society. Why does Islamophobia get special recognition?
No, you haven't said about it in this
I
camera.
answered your question directly.
You are
I said
talking
yes.
Islamophilia.
I said yes.
You
No.
have been speaking
No, hold
about
on one second.
Islamophilia, yes
Hold
or
on
no?
1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Bob, you have
Why
been
does
talking about something
Islamophobia
called
have
Islamophilia?
special
What is
recognition in
Islamophobia?
our society?
Are we above the law in this country?
Why does
Are we above
Islamophobia
the
have
law?
special
Yes or no?
recognition? If I criticize communism, if I criticize Hinduism, if I criticize,
evidence how we are above the law here.
brother,
Just by
Let him
the,
talk, let him talk.
brother, brother.
No, let him talk, let him talk.
Okay.
Right.
So I'll let those two talk. I'll finish the point that I
No,
want.
don't run away. I need you here,
No,
sir.
so
You
why,
couldn't
if I
answer, you answered
criticize
with-
Hinduism, am I not accused of Hinduphobia? Why,
Stay here.
if I
Continue with
criticize
me.
liberalism, I'm not accused of librophobia?
Bob,
But if I criticize Islam,
You are a liar,
I
Bob.
am accused of
You are a liar
Islamophobia.
about Islam.
Now,
Criticize
let me ask
all
you a
what
question.
want.
I answered your
We are
question
here to
directly.
debate,
I am
and
going
it
to
is-
ask you
it
one
is-
question.
It is something we're
Do you
happy for.
believe that there is
We invite you, in
Christophobia
fact.
in the
We
Islamic
cannot
world?
talk at the same time.
So, answer my question. I've answered your
I
question
will answer
directly.
you.
Everyone heard me do it.
Yeah.
Do you believe?
Wait, did you
Do
hear
you
what he
believe?
said? Did you hear what he said?
Do you
need to
believe?
hear
I'm going to
it.
repeat the
I
question.
need to hear it.
I'm going to repeat the
you're
question.
gonna- right.
Do you believe that there is Christophobia in the Islamic world?
Sometimes yes.
Okay, thanks.
I'm
Sometimes.
honest. Yes, it is there.
Yeah.
When our Muslims
Such
Now,
Such as when there's anti-Christian pogroms in Egypt, such as when there's anti-Christian pogroms in Pakistan.
Is there crimes done against Muslims here? I said in the Muslim world, yes, there is. Now, is there crimes, mosques being burned in Europe? Does this happen? Is
Women
there
get stabbed, yes.
Islamophobia and crimes against Muslims? Does this happen, yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Now answer me
So-
this question. Answer me this question.
answer
Answer me this question.
What is the-
Have there been
Question for question, okay?
My question, yes, question for
Yes,
question.
okay, go
Have
ahead.
there been anti-Christian pogroms in Pakistan and Egypt?
What is anti-Christian programs?
So, an anti-Christian pogrom, for those of you that don't understand the term like this, brother, is something that happens quite a lot in places like Egypt and Pakistan, where Muslim mobs go into Christian areas, burn down Christian churches, attack Christian families in their homes, attack Christian property, Christian shops, Christian businesses.
I think I paused the question.
So, I'm going to ask
We
you
have
again,
said there are
now that I've
crimes
explained
against
it,
Muslims and
now that I've
Christians both
explained
ways.
it, now that I've explained it, are there anti-Christian pogroms in places like Egypt and Pakistan?
I'm not going to say it is Islamic programs.
So, do you notice, ladies and gentlemen, his equivocation in speaking out against injustice?
Now,
Do you notice his
if you're going to use
equivocation?
the word program, I don't know what is program.
I've explained it to you.
Then there is
I gave
program
you.
against Muslims as well.
Now,
Yeah.
when was
It's
the
always
last
equal.
anti-Muslim
Now,
pogrom
I wanna
in
ask
Europe?
You, I want to ask you,
No,
are
no.
we above the law here or not?
No,
As
no.
Muslims?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Do you think we
I've
are?
answered
Thank
your
you very
question,
much.
question for question.
Yes.
Question for question.
Question.
Yes.
Question for question. Notice two things. One, when asked to acknowledge the anti-Christian pogroms in Egypt and Pakistan that are well documented and well known,
Pogroms?
he equivocated.
On weekly
He
basis.
did not want to admit
I'm
to
Egyptian, by the
it.
way. I'm Egyptian,
That's
by
the
way.
first point.
I'm
The
Egyptian.
second
I'm
point.
Egyptian.
The
Yesterday,
second point.
yesterday,
He attempted.
the Christians
Shut
have
up
been
a second.
voting
Shut
for
up,
a
brother.
president
You
who
wanted.
are choosing
You
from
wanted
Egypt.
question for
How
question.
much freedom we
Okay.
need for the Christians?
So,
who are supporting
He
the
equivocated
president, and
on
he
the
has-
question
cannot talk at the
of
same time.
Islamic
Bob,
pogroms
Bob, Bob,
against
Bob, I
Christians.
think he cannot confront
Now,
it.
he also tried to justify that by talking about anti-Muslim pogroms in Europe. So now I want you to give me the evidence of the last anti-Muslim riot in Europe, please.
What's the evidence?
Evidence.
Evidence.
Show us.
Let him drink the coffee.
Go on,
was
evidence.
there mosques burned in European
That's not an
countries.
anti-Christian pogrom.
Muslims.
That's not an
Muslims,
anti-Muslim
Muslims.
pogrom. It's
To
a
burn a
crime,
mosque.
but it's not a
To
pogrom.
burn a mosque.
It's not
what
a pogrom.
happened to Jada?
It's not a pogrom.
Tell me, my friend, what happened to Jada?
So-
what happened to
So,
Jada? No,
stop
no, no.
touching me. Stop touching
You have
me.
to answer.
Stop
Okay.
touching
I'm
me.
not winning.
So-
Don't get violent. Don't get
So,
violent.
stop touching
We
me.
don't need your violence
So,
up here now.
let's be
Don't
clear.
get violent. What happened
Let's
to
be
Jada
clear.
for sons?
Stop touching
Jada
him. He's not
has
Do you
touching
been-
him.
notice,
What happened to
ladies
Jada?
and gentlemen,
Is Jada attacking Muslim
that the
homes?
Muslim
Answer now.
apologist
I need you to answer now.
stated
Check
that
a
he
British
did not
court
know
in Folkestone.
what a pogrom was.
A British court in
I
Folkestone
explained it to him,
judged Jada,
and
yes
then
or
he
no?
said
Yeah.
that there were anti-Muslim pogroms in Europe.
Yes, I have.
And then I asked him for evidence,
I gave his
and he
evidence.
gave none.
Yeah,
I gave
exactly.
yes.
Nothing.
So, nothing.
Jada and Britain first.
I ask all of you
Why Facebook has to
to
take
get
down
onto
the
Google
first?
Google,
Answer
yes,
me.
and to type
Britain
in
first. What happened to Britain first
persecution
leaders?
of
Where
Christians
are Britain
in
first-
Egypt
Britain first
and
leaders?
Pakistan.
Answer now.
And you
Answer.
will see examples
Answer.
of anti-Christian pogroms
What happened to
of
Britain
riots
first?
by Muslim
What
mobs
is the situation
against
with Britain
Christians.
first? Can you answer?
No,
You cannot answer.
this
Here
kind
you
of
go.
prejudice.
Britain.
When was the last time that any of you heard of the anti-Christian pogroms in Egypt or
Leaders
Pakistan?
are in prison.
Hold up.
They support my claim. No, my friend. Do you mind? Answer, Bob. No, I'm not. Answer me.
No, I'm not answering any more of your
You
questions.
can't because
I'm not answering.
because
You didn't
you
answer my
are
question.
I answered you.
You didn't answer
I
my
answered
question.
you. You
I don't need
cannot
to
answer,
answer
Bob.
yours.
What
I don't need
happened
to
to
answer
Britain
yours.
First Facebook
I
page?
do not need
What
to
happened to
answer.
Britain First leaders? Are they in the prison? Yes or no?
So,
Yeah. So there is
notice
crime.
he doesn't want to talk about the
And they go
anti-Christian
attack
pogroms in
community,
Pakistan and Egypt.
attack homes.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. A purpose in a historical process that the church is doing as it moves through time, which is establishing the kingdom of God here on earth. Now, let me ask you, brother. I mean, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
You are a Christian?
Yeah.
As in, you practice the Christian faith?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
You go to church?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're part of a fellowship.
I visit churches. I don't really.
Okay, that's fair enough. All Christians at some point go through that point. But I would encourage you to go deeper, to ingrain that within your soul more, so that you can become a man in every sense, fortified on all sides.
Yeah.
That you can be courageous when the time demands, that you can be humble when the time demands, that you can be generous when the time demands, that you can be prudent when the time demands. Study your faith, preach your faith, give charitably, live in community with other Christians.
Yeah.
Practice the prayer of solitude. I'm trying to think of the 7 disciplines. There's 2 more, they'll come to me.
You had a lot to think about today, Paul.
Well, I've given you 5.
Yeah.
The other 2 will probably come to me when you walk away. But take these things and through discipline, form your life into the image of Christ. Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't be put off by the effeminization of the traditional churches. If we make Mother Church strong, Mother Church will make us strong. If we allow Church to be oppressed by her enemies, then the Church will make us weak. And right now, many bishops have sold their offices to the service of the state, rather than seeing their office as being an opportunity to serve the Church.
What do you mean, man?
They're serving the wrong people. You're saying, what do I mean? It's a fair
No, I'm not talking to you. Talking to my brother.
Okay. Anyway, I'll leave you with those thoughts, brother. Peace of the Lord be with you.
You too.